What's up? It's Trey Harris here, wide receiver for Los Angeles Chargers, and you're tuning in to Chargers Unleashed.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Daiyan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. If this is your first time tuning in the show, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Daiyan Wolkenstein, can you hear me now? There is no audio problems this time. Why? Because Jake Hefner is back from vacation. I apologize for this episode specifically coming out when it is, as I know that with all the hype that was going on over the weekend with the Chargers' victory in Sao Paulo over those Kansas City Chiefs, as Daiyan Wolkenstein had put out in the short in a very silent voice, imagine the euphoria. The euphoria that was going on over the weekend for the Chargers was palpable. It was loud. You could hear it. Justin Herbert took over the game as the Chargers slayed the giant that they have failed to slay in the last 4 seasons. Daiyan Wolkenstein, I apologize once again that I was on vacation, but funny stat, I've gone to Hawaii twice in just less than a year. And my record in Hawaii when the Chargers are playing is undefeated.
So are you moving there?
You know, that
for the betterment of the entire fan base.
It was a funny conversation that just so happened to come up with the guys from Chargers chat who had originally sent me a text saying, you know, hey, we're 1-0 in this scenario. And I happened to mention, I'm like, hey, we're 2-0 actually when I'm in games in Hawaii. And they said, so are you moving there? Like, get the hell out of California. So that's an expensive move. I'm sorry, I just can't afford it. So anybody who wants me to leave and get the hell out of, you know, California to save the Chargers record in this case, I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
A GoFundMe for Jake Hefner to get the hell out of California to save this Chargers team and the fan base, getting them a Super Bowl victory. It will happen. But Jake, I'm doing damn well. I am doing damn well. I feel a little under the weather, but this Chargers game got me hyped. Let me tell you, we got a ton to go through. Voicemails off the hook, literally 10 voicemails in the Chargers Unleashed hotline that we will be getting to here today. 10 of them. So familiar voices. But Jake, that just happened. Like, I pinched myself the next morning. I checked the stats again to make sure that it was real life. It was not a dream. Justin Herbert put on that Superman cape, went from Clark Kent to Superman just as much as Patrick Mahomes did/does, and more. And put this team on his back single-handedly at times, willing his team to a victory. Now, there were a lot of players who played well, none more so than number 10, none more so deserving than number 10 for all the flack he had gotten for the last few years, last few months, especially after that playoff loss. You can tell, and you saw some of the reactions from some of the players after the game, they wanted this game for him. And so there's a lot of excitement there. But off the top, Jake, I think the best part of us, Jake, is this Chargers team kind of felt like a sleeper. A lot of folks were thinking, well, same old Chiefs, same old Chargers, 1-0 for the Chargers, 1-0 for the Chiefs, 0-1 for the Chargers. But before we talk about the sleeping giant that was the Chargers, Jake, let's talk about our friends over at Sleeper.
Yes. Want to remind everybody that the NFL season is here. We're now heading into week 2, which means that you now have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football with Sleeper. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now with players like CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Good God almighty, what a game last night. Pick on the stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks in right now and you could win big. Just make sure to use the promo code CHARGERS, LAFB, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
A cool 131.7 passer rating for Justin Herbert. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 25 of 34 for 318.
It's not that impressive.
No interceptions. A cool 30-something yards rushing.
Who cares?
The best rush of the day didn't even count. Absolutely trucked a few folks. And Justin Herbert was absolutely slinging it. The best throw he had of the day didn't count. a dot to Keenan Allen. Somehow he dropped it, which he never does. Justin Herbert was in his bag and then some. And there were so many other fireworks in this game that were so fun. 323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. The Chargers Unleashed hotline. Jake, we got 10 of them. So let's do like 3-3-4.
Perfect.
We know our reactions. You and I are trying to temper them because I don't want to blow a gasket on this freaking microphone. So I'm going to do first voicemail here. We'll do 3 back to back to back. Then we'll get into kind of the hottest topics of this game and then continue on. So first voicemail of today. We're trying to do as much as we can for you Chargers fans because damn it, you all deserve this. First voicemail.
Hey guys, just wanted to drop a quick note. Love the pod. Jake, I don't know if you remember this, but you really liked my last phone call. I gave receipts and details as to why I thought the Chiefs were going to struggle this year. And basically every single one of those things came true last night. And the better team won. It wasn't a fluke. The better team won. Look forward to hearing you guys with a reaction pod. Hope you guys have a great Saturday morning. Bye-bye.
Dan, I have to apologize again to you because when you put up your short, you had to whisper because your kids were asleep. And you probably had like so much pent up emotion because I remember the last time that I was in Hawaii, you went ahead and just went live with a reaction video. It was huge after that Cincinnati game. And it was like, I got all these feelings. I need someone to talk to about it. I don't have anybody right now. So again, I do apologize. I wish I could have gone live with you at that very second. And of course, get a chance to talk to all the Chargers faithful for voicemails and reactions just like this. It's nice when, you can predict things to happen, and kudos to that caller for doing certain things. Look, Dan, despite the fact that the Chiefs were coming into this game without Rashid Rice, despite the fact that they lost Xavier Worthy in the first 3 plays of the game, the Chargers didn't shut out Patrick Mahomes. There was still Mahomes magic all over the damn place, whether it was from miracle toss-ups over a wall of Chargers players that somehow Juju Smith-Schuster comes down with, or it's the big plays that you and I were talking about during the preview episode that you couldn't allow to happen. 1 to Hollywood Brown, 1 to Tyquan Thornton, 1 to Travis Kelce. Patrick Mahomes, you have to give respect to him.
Totally.
You have to. And this is why these guys are never, ever out of it. They played an incredible game, even despite all the elements against them. And on that 3rd and 14 play, before Justin Herbert iced the game, you just started feeling it because the Chiefs had just gone down, kicked a field goal. They're down by 6 at that point in time, and you're thinking to yourself, holy shit. It's 3rd and 14 for the offense. The Chiefs' defense by Spags is going to come up with a stop. You're going to have to give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. We've seen that movie time and time again, and we know how it ends. But, Dan, despite all those things that happened for the Chiefs, Justin Herbert said, not today. Not today. And it was in beautiful fashion, the way that it happened. For Justin Herbert, who had a tremendous night, to take that last play and run with it, and to honestly up Phillip Rivers for the slickest first down by a Chargers quarterback that you have ever seen. That just put the cap on what was such a great night for him. He was locked in. He was precise. He was decisive. He chose to run the football, which is something that I was asking for it to be another facet of the offense. I thought his decisions of when he ran were tremendous. It was a huge difference in the game. Justin Herbert was in his bag on this one. And if this is the Justin Herbert that we are going to be seeing throughout this season, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous.
And you touched on something that I think Chargers fans might have lost sight of because, the way that first half ended, which was a little bit of a debacle, we'll get to. And then that second half starts, right, for 3 plays, 1 yard, punt immediately. You're like, Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. We've seen this story. But then after that, to end the game, right? We talk about same old Chargers, charging, whatever. To end the game, after that first series, the Chiefs go down 11 plays, 80 yards, touchdown. Chargers respond 12 plays, 74 yards, over 7 minutes of clock, touchdown to go up 12 to 20. Chiefs do Chiefs things, come back again. 7 plays, 65 yards, touchdown, 18 to 20. Chargers offense again comes back. 11 plays, 74 yards, 7 minutes of clock, go up 27-18. Chiefs come back again. Field goal. Chargers ice it. 7 plays, 29 yards. So this wasn't like they needed things to happen. They went and took it. And this Chargers offense was carried by Justin Herbert. And there were so many aspects of this. Offensive line we'll talk about. Defensive line, the receivers, the tight ends, the running game at times. The coaching was unreal for this game. All of that stuff is moot if you don't have a slinger like this in that game. And you watch other NFL games across the NFL, there aren't many dudes like this. There's maybe 3, 4, maybe. You could talk about those 2 that we watched last night at Primetime in Baltimore and Buffalo.
Crazy.
Mahomes, obviously. You could put Joe Burrow in there, in my opinion. Other than that, he's the prototype. He's a prototype. And the dimes he was throwing were unreal. Calm, cool, collected. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Next voicemail, Jake.
Good morning, Dan and Jake. Just wanted to keep this
Hello. After dark.
real short. At least I'll try to.
Any Reservoir Dog fans in the house? He sounds like the radio host of K. Billy's Super Sounds of the 70s. Love this voice.
JT. Really, I was getting tired of the whole discourse that was taking place on Twitter about how Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz, how they're frauds and how they're consmen and all this random ass shit. And I'm like, this fan base complained and begged and whined for 2 people like this ever since Marty Schottenheimer was fired. And now that they finally, or the fan base, the team, the organization finally has those 2 people in charge, not even 2 years into their contracts, we already want to call for their heads. So I always thought that whole shit was bullshit. Excuse my French. We.
You said we.
It's pardon my French. We? No, we do not speak French.
But no, trust the coach. Trust the GM.
Ed Wolkenstein ain't under the weather anymore.
They're the ones who get paid millions and millions of dollars to do this. That's why people on Twitter are sitting on their couch raging, Twitter fingers. So, anyway, great game. Good to finally get that monkey off their back, right? It's a big accomplishment. Turn it back for a better game. I mean, they never trailed at all, which is kind of fucking insane. Cause
Wire to wire, by the way. Wire to wire. You don't see that often.
considering it's the Kansas City Chiefs, you always expect that team to always have a lead sometime, during the game. And yeah, I mean, beautiful job on the O-line. Run blocking, needs some work, but it's getting there. It'll get there. Greg Roman with a fucking masterclass of a game plan. Keep that shit going, man. You're going places.
So much there. We'll get to most of that throughout
Shift
this
the
episode.
order around, Dan, because a lot of that was focused on Greg Roman.
Okay.
Pull up the Greg Roman slide. Let's still focus on Greg Roman for a second. Hey, maybe it was me being in Hawaii. Are we talking about discourse before week 1? We shouldn't be talking about it after week 1 because he hit the nail on the head. What did Greg Roman do with the Greg Roman of last year? Holy fucking shit.
Greg Roman gave himself some weapons, is what he has.
I mean,
yes, play calling's different, but the whole different narrative when you got dudes who are healthy and
oh man. Dan, even if you took Greg Roman from late last year once that all those elements are like finally in a rhythm at certain points of the regular season. This is a Greg Roman who, yes, obviously you have your weapons, and yes, you have players like Quentin Johnston contributing on top of Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey, but I loved the way that he was getting Tyler Conklin involved in this, having him in on a direct snap play in order to get a first down conversion.
The tight end sneak.
Obviously, with Justin getting involved more in the run game is huge. That's going to change a lot of different things. But
the Will Dissly special, by the way.
Yes,
Always count on one.
I remember texting Dan, and this was on that drive after the Chiefs had scored their final field goal before the Chargers iced it. And Dan texted me, he's like, okay, we just need one first down. I'm like, no, actually we need two because they still have the 2-minute warning and all three of their timeouts. And then you got the one first down very quickly because the first play of that drive, as Dan said, was the Will Dissly special, pick up an immediate 10 yards. That was critical because he hadn't really been involved at all throughout the game, and nobody is paying attention to him. He was wide open for that throw from Justin Herbert. But Dan, to the bigger point of things, there's one of the best things that the Chiefs do is that they are so well coached. And that they are so good at making adjustments from half to half. You take that 11 seconds at the end of the first half that they run that play and they're able to get their field goal unit on there. That's a 59-yard field goal. 59 yards.
So easy.
They were ready for it.
With no timeouts.
So at that moment, you thought, okay, that's a little bit of momentum. They're probably going to make some adjustments in the second half. Again, same old story. What are the Chargers going to do? Because we've seen this story before. We've seen the Chargers with a 2-score lead over the Chiefs in previous years. And we've seen them lose that lead and lose the games because the Chiefs will just gradually end up making a play here and there. And that'll all end up adding up at the end of the day. And they'll end up securing a win.
Well, Jake, the Chargers were literally on the other side of that last year. They had that free kick, Cameron Dicker, 57-yarder against the Broncos.
Yep.
You felt that tide turn at that moment. They get that free kick, they get the ball back second half. Like, it changed the entire complexion of that game. And everyone thought, we all did, here we go. And then 3 and out, it's a wrap.
It looked like the same damn blueprint that we have seen whenever the Chargers have played the Chiefs over the span of the last 4 years. And to Greg Roman's credit, even though at times the offense wasn't flawless, he didn't flinch. And yes, this is where Justin Herbert comes into play because, again, his decisiveness and the way that he was locked in, his accuracy, where he was able to put the ball. I mean, Jesus, even some of the balls he was throwing across his body to make some of these passes that were just ridiculous. But I thought Greg Roman called a fantastic game. Spreading the ball around, still not necessarily deviating away from the run. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But just in general, this team on both sides of the ball was prepared to play.
They came ready, man.
And they were not going to let this one go.
The only stain really was that end of sequence, end of half to end the first half. And really, it was really one play. You want to call it two because they had that delayed game, should have been a timeout. Omar and Hampton didn't stay in bounds. Like, that was the blunder, right? Other than that, like, they played that game about as effective as you can.
You're talking offensively?
Yeah. Like, this offense looked pretty darn good. And again, you're going up against a Spagnuolo defense that has given you fits for years. And we all saw what happened last year, right? Interior pressure. All you got to do, they're going to dial up some crazy blitzes. Oh, here they come. Here comes Drew Tranquil. Great. Here.
Which they did.
But you started to see what happens. And Jake, you and I talked about this. And it's fitting now. We have the slide up with Johnston, Allen, and Ladd. For a Chargers team to succeed, they need to have weapons that can separate and or a run game and or protection. If you don't have any of those, you are hosed. And that was last year. They had nobody to Ladd last year. They didn't have protection. You saw what happened in the interior all season. Fast forward, Keenan looks like 28-year-old Keenan. Always open. Ladd picking up right where he left off. Always open. So those two by themselves, chilling. whenever they wanted. Thanksgiving dinner. And then Quentin with the casual 2 touchdown.
Should have been 3.
Should have been 3, but it was 2 touchdowns, and he came back after the drop to continue his productive game. He didn't let that unravel him, which I thought was huge, by the way. Quentin Johnston ends up with a cool 5 receptions, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns already, by the way. You saw Trey Harris get in there. Talked about Tyler Conklin. They have weapons now for him that can separate and can win. Players make plays. And so this could have been the exact same script as last year. But they got some players now, too. They got a healthy Justin Herbert now. But damn, was it good to see Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, and Quentin Johnston go out. And the way they kicked that off with Quentin, that drag route, broke a tackle, turns it upfield.
That was the ball that Justin throws across his body, by the way, to get that touchdown.
That's what you like to see. There were a couple of plays where like, oh, that was 2024. But for the most part, they were putting Quentin in position to succeed with things that he does best.
Yes. This is where Quentin Johnston does his best work. See TCU and Michigan. Back when Jim Harbaugh was coaching still
that exact
in
same
Michigan.
play.
It was the exact same damn play. Quentin Johnston torched Michigan to upset them in that game.
Those rub routes, the drag routes, the underneath.
Jim Harbaugh
Jim
Harbaugh knows exactly what is best for Quentin Johnston. And 3 big crossing routes in this game against the Chiefs. Quentin Johnston killed it.
And he's going up against McDuffie in a lot of those. When you go back and watch the second time. Like, this wasn't like he was going up against some scrubs.
It was a great start. Great start for Quentin Johnston.
Yep, deserves his flowers.
And how does it not just get emotional for you to see Keenan Allen, Slater, who just comes up and leads the team in receptions with 7 for a casual, was it 68 yards and a touchdown? But the best thing about this is, Dan, is the guy who's in the left of this picture. That formation, before Keenan Allen catches that touchdown, it's Ladd and Keenan right next to each other, lining up before the snap. We got the tease of it in the 3rd preseason game when Keenan Allen finally signed back with the Chargers. I can't wait to see what this now trio, but these 2 specifically in Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey, and how they're going to rotate, who's going to take what route. Because, as we said with the entirety of this wide receiver group, there's so many guys that are interchangeable as far as what they can do at different positions with different players. You have this type of versatility now. And Justin Herbert, yes, to your point for the 1,000th time, Dan, has weapons. This wide receiver group showed up, and gave Justin Herbert the ability to do what he did in that game.
He does. And a healthy Justin Herbert has weapons, which I think is the most important part of this. Next voicemail, Jake. Let's see what they have to say.
Ole, 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 ole.
Can it be?
Bob from Boston.
Oh, God.
Yes!
I didn't actually get that when he was singing. Holy
Won
shit.
that game last night. But first things first.
Here we go.
You just can't stay out of the line of fire, can you? Did I see you wearing a Manscaped t-shirt?
Yeah.
I had bad dreams of you on a beach in your thong Speedo with your Brazilian wax walking around going, "Hello, ladies. Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see."
I'm going to let that simmer.
Oh, my God. I wonder where Bob from Boston just sits, just thinking of these things. Like, again, I'm trying to think, like, what did I say? What did I do now? Yes, I wore a Manscaped shirt. Yes, they used to be a sponsor of us way back in the day.
My back hurts.
Yes, it's a good product.
I'm dying.
Damn, I get enough flack already from Dan talking about my short sleeve hoodies. Now I have to have Bob from Boston talking about me wearing a Manscaped shirt.
I'm all sweaty. God.
I had my heart attack 3 months after the surgery. I looked down and I noticed they had only mowed half the lawn. Forget that it took me 3 months.
Thank you for putting Bob from Boston's voicemail in the initial block, because actually maybe not. We may not finish the show now that you put his voicemail in the initial block.
I got out my razor. I cleaned things up.
Jeez.
You need to manscape? Good Lord. I mean, if I send you a betterbowelmovements.com t-shirt and offer you $5, you're going to wear it? Dad. Dan, man, you can't even eat anymore. Now the Chargers. They signed Slater. Yeah, he's out for the...
That's all he says to you. He just says you can't speak anymore. But Jake, wearing Manscaped shirts, how dare you? I'm having bad dreams. He lets you off the hook, man.
You're the only 10 I see. I'm start calling you Nashville from now on. This is amazing.
Quentin Johnston down. Injuries all over the place. Then boom, they get it together for the Chiefs, win the opener. Quentin, 2 TDs. You know I like a mentally tough team. When not so smart Tart bitch slapped Mr. Taylor Swift, who egged him.
We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that.
And the Chiefs scored. I thought, there it goes. Not tough enough, but they pulled it all together. Great quarterback play, great line play. They found their discipline. Lots to like this year, man. And Keenan Allen sure did not look too old out there. Now I'm going to sit back, have a Brazilian cocktail, play some samba music, and celebrate the changing of the guard in the AFC West. Jake, betterbowelmovements.com.
Who needs to wear a shirt when you have Bob from Boston doing plugs on the show? Jeez.
What are you talking Brazilian? I thought you were going wax.
That's what I thought. Thank God he said cocktail. I was like, oh, no, don't do it. And yes, man, who wants to look hideous? You know, it's like we do have a responsibility to, keep some things in check. I know it's gross and it's tough sometimes for what we have to deal with, but damn, you need to do something.
Was that the best one yet?
That's close. That definitely contends with number one. Again, I never know. I could be getting. I get shit from Bob from Boston for the color of the paint in my office. Now I'm getting shit from Bob from Boston for the shirts that I'm wearing. Next week it's going to be Bob from Boston talking about the color of my teeth. I don't know what that's the best part about Bob from Boston is that I am never prepared for.
They're
anything
always out of left field.
Yes.
Always out of left field.
The takeaways, aside from the Manscaped and Brazilian wax that he was talking about,
gotta go to Tennessee.
It's hot and humid there. I just came from a hot place in Hawaii. Yeah, I don't need any of that.
Speaking of Manscaped,
damn. No, we're just going to let this one die. All right. Very good voicemail from Bob from Boston. Thank you so much. Once again, he is the mascot of Chargers Unleashed 100%.
We are unhinged.
Damn.
29 minutes. Jake, I think we got to talk about it. The Swift slap in the face.
Or you mean, sorry, the Tart slap in the face that
got Swifties pissed for years to come.
A quarter of the population who was up in arms about it, and then the other 75% of the population saying that's football, and honestly, Kelsey probably got what he deserved.
Literally asked for it.
It's not like he hasn't done that before to other players.
Yeah. Anyways,
yes.
If there was in the moment, I was split because one, I'm like, oh, so stupid.
Oh, it was a stupid play. It was a stupid response from Tart.
The other part of me was like, finally, finally someone just says to hell with it. Got lucky because it's open-handed. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, did he redeem himself throughout that game. From
Said,
the
okay.
first defensive snap through the end of the game.
Yeah.
Pressures, batted balls, impact performance by interior defensive line that we're not used to seeing. And everyone was questioning, like, oh shit, we're hosed, no Puna Ford. Can Tierre Tart be that guy? That was about as imposing and menacing of a defensive line performance without even getting to the quarterback. He was an absolute menace that game and single-handedly kept his Chargers team's hopes alive. Batted balls when it mattered most. 2-point conversion probably gets in there if it's not batted down. And honestly, defensive line batted balls like cheat codes. It completely derails drives. Other than Justin Herbert, was he the MVP of that game? Like, it's hard to say otherwise.
It is. After Tart delivered the slap heard around the world and said, okay, I can't use my hand like that. I get it. I get penalized. I can't do that anymore. I'll use my hands in different ways. To your point, Dan, when was the last time that you talk about a defensive lineman for the Chargers batting down balls? How many times has Chris Jones done that to the Chargers? How many times has it happened to the Chargers? Remember I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, where the Chargers literally led the team in batted balls by opposing defenses. Yeah. It was insane. And Tierre Tart to come up numerous times throughout this game with plays like that. It was a huge difference defensively. It just absolutely can demoralize an opposing offense where you have the play and someone gets their hands up and totally blows it up. Tierre Tart came up big. And I know that he's relishing in the moment. You could see it with the Instagram posts and everything like that. Hey, it's football. It's a game. He smacked the guy who had his helmet on. I've seen worse. I've seen other players rip the helmet off of an opposing quarterback and try to beat them over the head with it. Give me a break. He got penalized. He'll probably end up getting fined. But
hindsight?
Get over it.
Hindsight, Chargers fans would gladly start a GoFundMe to pay for that one. I almost guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Yes. Again, I'm not saying it was the right thing to do because it wasn't in that moment. He got baited by Travis Kelce and he took the bait and he paid for it because the Chiefs ultimately ended up getting a touchdown on that drive. So it's not things that Tierre Tart should be doing, period. Not condoning anything like that. At the same time, hey, to the victor go the spoiled.
But after the game, you know, in that locker room, there was so much either said or unspoken about what that meant to that team.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, and that's a statement, literally and figuratively.
It is. Dan, it's the response from everything else. It's not like the only thing that Tierre Tart was known for was that slap to Travis Kelce. It was a bonehead play, but then how does he respond? He responds by using his hands in big, big ways to totally take out Kansas City's offensive drives.
Yeah.
Huge performance by Tierre Tart.
Again, like the defensive line in general, I thought was good. You didn't see much pressure on Mahomes. And again, that's because I think that's kind of a blueprint for Mahomes. You don't want to try to get too much pressure with him other than with 4, or else you're going to die by it. I did not like seeing the loss of containment, but again, like it's easier said than done, I think. But there was some stuff where I'm like, come on, like make him stay in the pocket for 45 seconds. Don't let him do that. I'm talking to you, Bud Dupree, at the beginning of that game.
Oof.
That hurt. And again, like some of that stuff is just Mahomes being Superman. Like you just know it's coming. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. And by no means was the defense flawless in any of these circumstances. Again, you talk about Mahomes, he gave up, technically you could say 4 big plays. No, excuse me, that's 3. Sorry, 3. You have the one at the end of the half to Tyquan Thornton that gets him into field goal range. Then you have in the second half just completely losing Hollywood Brown, which again, you just can't stop Mahomes when he's playing like this. That was a 4th down play. Khalil Mack is literally right in his face, gives him a shove right after the throw, but it's a fucking dart to Hollywood Brown. And then somehow, how do you lose Travis Kelce, who at that point in time, with no Rashee Rice, with no Xavier Worthy, that he is still your number one guy, and in that moment, you just leave him wide open on the sideline to go for a 36-yard touchdown? No, there were breakdowns in the secondary throughout this game, and Mahomes just did Mahomes things. So, yeah, you still have to clean up some things, but I thought for the most part, in terms of the Chargers, especially during the beginning of the game, containing, not allowing the big plays, playing disciplined, I thought they did a tremendous job. Jesse Minter deserves a lot of flowers for that type of performance because he mixed a lot of things up. You took away the run game, Dan. You did not allow the Chiefs team to be balanced.
Aside from Mahomes.
Yes, and once you're able to get that little bit of a cushion, the Chiefs, they couldn't rely on anything like that. They couldn't get into rhythm at times other than Mahomes digging them out of the hole, which he did. But a credit to the Chargers defense. They did what they needed to do.
Held them to 5 for 14 on third down. Granted, they went 3 for 3 on fourth down, but 5 for 14 is how you're able to play that game. If they don't get off to that start where they get, what I think it was like first 2 were punts, field goal was the next one. If you don't give your team a chance to go up against this team, like you're doomed.
Mm-hmm. Also, Dan, Tuli led the team and pressures, had 2 quarterback hits. Derwin James should have had a sack, basically had Mahomes until he does a miracle ball flip that goes conveniently goes over the head of 3 Chargers and drops into the hands of Juju Smith-Schuster. I thought that Jesse Minter schemed it well. He brought pressure from different places. We said this a lot last year, but relish the time that Jesse Minter is the Chargers defensive coordinator.
Yep. Shout out to Deshaun Hand. Daiyan Henley had himself a game as well. I think he definitely had the sack on Mahomes, which I know is so bittersweet for him. Like that was so refreshing considering what happened last year. We had that opportunity. Daiyan Henley was everywhere. And he's like that sideline to sideline superstar, that defense that you need when you go up against a player like that. Derwin James was doing Derwin James things. I mean, I think he's the highest rated defensive grade on the entire team. Caleb Murphy out there doing things. Dante Jackson, Tarheeb Still. Dante Jackson did get lucky on that one drop because that was easily going to be a touchdown, but we'll take it. For the most part, like they played pretty darn disciplined. I do wonder, do they need reinforcements at the edge position? Could they get more pressure from the edge? We'll see. But I'm not sure if that was the game to gauge that.
I don't think it's a fair game to gauge that. Now, we talked about the Chiefs' offensive line, and maybe that was a weakness that you could exploit. And in some respects, even though the Chargers only ended up getting 2 sacks, really both in coverage by, especially the great one by Daiyan Henley, and not falling for the fake out from Patrick Mahomes, you still got the rookie Josh Simmons to, what was it? I can't remember if it was 2 penalties that he ended up getting for false starts.
Yeah, 2 false starts.
4 pressures, I think. He didn't give up a sack. I mean, credit to him for what he had to deal with on the edge.
He had at least 1 holding call too, didn't he?
Yep. And they were definitely focused on that side because they keyed in on, and that's why you saw a lot of Bud Dupree out there because they had Khalil Mack on the inside. So they were trying to overload the left side of that line with Joshua Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia, who ended up having a rough game himself. And believe it or not, we got penalties that were called on Jawan Taylor in Brazil. Holy shit, there's competent refereeing out there. Isn't there? Jawan Taylor getting called for false starts that we haven't seen in like the past 10 years. Holy shit. Amazing. No, just in general, I thought the Chargers defensive line and the defense in general did what they needed to do. And they played a solid, disciplined, at times, save for a few things, mistake-free football.
For the most part. Yeah. More voicemail, Jake. 323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. Again, 323-902-7586. Come join in on the fun. Next voicemail.
What's going on, guys? It's DP Kicks Rocks here. I just want to say I cannot wait to wake up in the morning and turn on ESPN and how they're just going to glaze Patrick Mahomes and totally overshadow what Justin Herbert did today.
I will say,
they didn't do that this time.
Like, and thank God the Chargers won that game, because there were some of those moments in that game where you're going to see on SportsCenter for years if Mahomes wins. Like,
totally.
Some of the plays he was making were just ridiculous. And they were ridiculous. Like,
that was vintage Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things. Like, literally, instead of one play, like every game, this was like 5 plays in one game.
It was like, but of course. But again, Justin overcame that. This Chargers team overcame that. And so, surprisingly, I understand why this is expected to just be like this is how epically great Patrick Mahomes is, but the Chargers squeaked by. Like, that's not what you heard. I thought Justin got his fair share and the right amount of flowers for this.
100%.
I mean, I'm telling you that this guy is the real deal, man. And all summer I sat here and I listened to everybody critique him, especially.
This was definitely right after the game was over. For sure. I love this.
Bum Ryan Clark.
Oh, boy.
He's having a rough few days.
He had a rough week last week, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck is that guy? Bum. I mean, how this game was tailored to the Chiefs is a whole different conversation, but Justin Herbert doing it himself to end the game? I mean, this is beautiful, folks. I mean, these guys, they look good, man. Amarion made some mistakes. He's a kid, man. What can you expect from him? Yeah, those things are going to happen. But Justin fucking Herbert. Remember that fucking name.
Dude, one of the best things about the 3rd and 14 play is, and I'm sure we all get it, is that, when you're watching it on any type of network, there's a little bit of a tape delay. So sometimes, especially if you're looking at your phone for any updates, you sometimes get those little Twitter drop downs from, whether it's Chris Rim or Daniel Popper or Eric Smith that are covering the game live. Dan, the tweet that I saw right before the 3rd and 14 play, Eric Smith's tweet drops down and it just says Justin M.F.N. Herbert. And I'm like, what the shit just happened? And I'm waiting to see what happens. And then the run takes play. As it was just insane. Again, just everything that had built up to that final moment to ice the game. Because you take away the run out, and Justin Herbert was still phenomenal. But it's the fact that when you talk about guys that are in that category, like the Patrick Mahomes or the Josh Allens or the Lamar Jacksons or the Joe Burrows, that you see those moments where they will their team or they put it on their own back to take out the opponent. Like, we've seen Justin Herbert lead comeback drives before, but nothing was this dramatic with it. Because, again, it's the Chiefs, and they will find ways to wait. They will find ways to adapt, and they will find ways to force the offense that they are playing against into making mistakes. They will get the ball back. They will give it to 15, and somehow or another, 15 is going to come up with a play that is going to make them win. Justin Herbert said, fuck that. Not today. And the fact that it was just done on a 3rd and 14 play, where you're just thinking, okay, well, here comes the pass. You're going to probably drop 7 into coverage here.
Chris Jones with its boneheaded play. But I'll take it.
It's just,
you're used to the Chargers doing that.
Yes. And how many times do you see it where it's like Patrick Mahomes ends up getting the impossible scamper for 20-some yards? Lamar Jackson had an insane one last night that he got against the Buffalo Bills that he ended up converting a first down for. You don't see those type of dramatic moments from the quarterback where they say, I'm going to do this myself. And instead of throwing it and waiting for that dramatic pause while the ball is floating through the air, hoping that someone's going to be on the receiving end and it's going to be past the sticks, no. Justin Herbert rolls out and says, I got the wheels. I can beat this. And again, image on the screen. You can't get any more dramatic than this.
No. It
is now the best first down signal in the history of Chargers quarterback.
Like that's gotta be a logo. Put on a shirt. Put that outline on a shirt. Jake, we need to talk to our LAFB folks.
You said hanging in the Louvre, so
I'm telling you. You know when I probably had the first glimmer of maybe they can actually do this. After that first series in the second half went bad. Because I think all of us knew what was coming. Eventually, Chiefs are going to bring the house. The Chiefs are going to dial it up. Chiefs are going to bring the internal pressure, and this Chargers offensive line is going to implode, and Justin Herbert's going to get flat on his back. Game over. When I saw this particular play happen and the way that it was designed and prepared for is when I felt good. It was that last touchdown to Quentin. And I think it was only like a 15-yard throw. But as soon as that ball was hiked, Justin is almost sprinting backwards. Like he knew, I'm giving myself time. I'm not doing this 3-step stay in the pocket thing. I'm either going to run out, throw it, or do something else, but I'm not getting sacked in the middle of the pocket. And when you see him run back like that, give himself some time, Quentin separates beautifully, hauls it in for the touchdown. That's when I was like, they were ready. Like they knew what was coming. And shout out to the offensive line, which we haven't really talked about much yet. Good Lord, was that refreshing? Now, folks were scared, especially the guy below me right now, when we heard the Mekhi Becton news of him not feeling great. And you saw it. The guy was literally on a ventilator getting oxygen. Like, he needed it. He was going through some stomach bug stuff. Like, apparently had a fever, the whole 9. He gutted it out. I thought Zion had a good game. Bozeman had a great game. You saw a bunch of stunts go through that. You're like, oh, this is where they get. A couple got through. But there was never that back-breaking one. There was never the ones where it mattered most, where you see this team constantly squander. Joe Alt was an absolute animal. I saw a few people talk about this during the game, and I was like, I don't know, man, but they might be right. Maybe Joe Alt never leaves the left tackle position again. And it's insane to say that with a Rashawn Slater.
Yes.
I'm not taking anything away from Joe Alt's performance at left tackle. Absolutely not, and I won't. But one game in, we're going to forget how good Rashawn Slater is. Just think about this for a second. I get it, because we cannot predict the future, and depending on what the recovery is for Rashawn Slater, I'm not going to discredit this as an option and say that that's not a possibility. But let's just see that come to fruition first, because I still remember that. I remember how good the offensive line looked when they had Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt bookending at tackle. I haven't forgotten that. I also remember how long, essentially, we always talk about left tackle being the most important position, rightfully so, and how long it took just to get Rashawn Slater over there. It's nearly been longer that you've had stability at the right tackle spot. And when you have defenses loading up the way that they are, going up against turnstile right tackles, look at how Philadelphia has built their Super Bowl team in the trenches, how good that offensive line has been, not just solely from the left tackle position.
But I mean, like, I think what the thought is, imagine Rashawn Slater and Mekhi Becton together on the right side with Joe Alt on the left side.
But Slater's never played right tackle. And I get it. Neither had Joe Alt, but the standpoint from taking him in his rookie year and seeing how good he was at right tackle, like this is Joe Alt 2.0. And yes, this is him back at his natural position that he was playing in college.
What I'm saying, if he does what he did yesterday, all season, he's not going back to right tackle. He's not. Which that's not really a bad thing, right? Like, we'll see. it's a good problem to have.
I don't know.
Topic for a different discussion.
Yeah, because you still have a lot of changes on your offensive line, not in the tackle department, but
it was crazy to
rest.
think about before the game that Rashawn Slater is not going to be left tackle. But then after that, I'm like, I can see it. Like in a world where if he continues down this path of just absolute bully ball, I mean, stonewalling Chris Jones like no one else does. I mean, he made it look so easy. It was
Drew Tranquill was the only Chiefs player that ended up getting sacks in this game for them. And that was coming through the stunts and pressures that he came up the middle on delayed blitzes. Outside of that, Dan, focusing more on the entire offensive line, I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I knew that this was a huge concern for a lot of people, including myself, because we hadn't seen this starting five out there. How are you going to do without Rashawn Slater? What's Mekhi Becton going to look like? We get the news the morning of the game that he's on, he's battling an illness.
He put on Instagram with the beans and rice stuff.
Yes. The first play that he exits the game, Justin Herbert has the run of a lifetime. But of course, it's Jamari Sawyer who came in to replace Becton, who ended up getting called for the hold on that game. So there was definitely some inconsistencies. But remember I said, we're going to learn a lot about this Chargers offensive line through the first 3 weeks of the year.
What did you learn week one?
I thought Zion Johnson and Bradley Bozeman did pretty well. Namely, I'll highlight one play. How about the 4th and 1 conversion that Omarion Hampton ends up picking up when he runs to the left? They stacked that offensive line because they had Scott Matlock go out wide basically as an extra offensive lineman. Matlock, Alt, Zion, they all did their jobs in getting Omarion Hampton across that line and going for 4 yards. I thought collectively, considering the way, not just who the Chiefs have on the defensive line, because they got some guys. Karlaftis, you saw the pressure from Drew Tranquill. Chris Jones, definitely notable. But it's who they're playing against. It's Spags. We've seen this. He is so creative when it comes up to dialing pressure. And yes, this is part of the offensive line. And yes, part of it is Justin Herbert's reaction to the pressure. But I thought, hey, that's a good test by them in first week of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Alt and Mekhi Becton both, to me, were elite. I mean,
that was a great start.
Joe Alt, 91.4 pass blocking grade. Mekhi Becton, 88.1 pass blocking grade. Again, you're going up against a Chiefs team, that defense that is known to just make offensive line look silly. Like, that's what they do. And sure, like Trey Pipkins, Bradley Bozeman, Zion Johnson, at times let some things go, right? You saw a couple things in the interior. You saw a couple of people get by Trey Pipkins. It was never the heartbreaker. It was never the gut-wrenching play. And I think this Chargers team schemed accordingly. You saw Omarion help a ton. You saw Will Dissly in there. You saw a bunch of folks in there that were making it hard for them to get through. And shout out to Greg Roman, man. Shout out to Justin Herbert for just knowing what's coming and scheming around it. And that's what having competent weaponry that can get open quickly. We talked about like, I don't know if Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey can work together well, which they're both great football players. But damn, did that look good.
Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Because this whole idea of, the slot is Ladd's position now. That's not how they've drawn up these plays when they've had them both out there. And
now they have two slots.
And even more so on the same side. Like, the separation that both of them were getting. Again, they're two of the best at their position in doing so.
I have not seen folks look that wide open against a Chiefs team.
Yeah.
Like Justin just looked like he was just chilling. And that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often. Next voicemail. Got a lot here. Let's get through these.
What's up, Dan, Jake? Woo! All I got to say is, where you at, Ryan Clark? Can't wait to see more of y'all this season. Bolt up, baby.
All right, let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
Not just one day for Ryan Clark. He had 2 rough days, and only one day was relating to the Chargers subject matter. We all heard on Thursday, kickoff before the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles start off the season. We heard Ryan Clark's thoughts on one Justin Herbert. And in so many words, basically just using the Texans game as a tunnel vision type of perspective to basically say that in the biggest moments for Justin Herbert to come in clutch, he has failed to do so. And he has not been great, was his own words that he used. Justin Herbert must have heard that. I'll just say this, taking the Emmanuel Oucho type of approach when you're talking about Justin Herbert has now failed twice. Maybe I wouldn't recommend it to certain other people when it's that narrowly focused and that, what's the word I'm looking for?
Stupid.
I mean, I was trying to be more respectful, but let's just go with that. Let's go with that for the time being. That and then the altercation that he had with Peter Schrager.
Of all people to question.
Yeah, it was a rough day for Ryan Clark. And then I quote tweeted it because he obviously shared a completely different opinion on Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert after the game.
Amazing.
Talking about like Justin Herbert showed his entire ass AZZ tonight and talked about how great he played. Hey, look, we all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that you would have expected that
from him.
Yes, I expect that from other commentators that I have listened to for plenty of years that have definitely narrow-minded perspectives.
I kind of like Ryan Clark, but
I had a lot of respect for Ryan Clark, honestly.
Yeah, it was a bad week for him.
I really did. It's been a rough 2 days, and I was actually looking forward to seeing him on Get Up this morning, but no, he was at the pregame for Minnesota, Chicago tonight on Monday Night Football.
No get up, just dip out. Before we get to our final thoughts here, Jake, let's roll through some of these voicemails again.
Hey guys, this is Angel from Anaheim, and all I can just
Anaheim.
Hey,
say is wow. Huge credit to the offensive unit as a whole. Going blow for blow, keeping pace with Kansas City. But Justin Herbert, man, on that last possession to seal the game, to me that felt like him saying to the league on that. If you think you can just toss me aside, disregard me, you're in for a rude awakening. So, just huge props to the offense there. But what I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on was how you would evaluate our defense. I feel I can't say I was disappointed per se with it being our opener and playing against Mahomes. How that man can make wine from sewage water. So I feel you have to kind of temper your expectations. But even then, credit to the defense. They planted their feet. They hung tough on their final drive, holding them to just a field goal, which I thought was huge. So kudos to them. But, I just love to hear you guys' thoughts. But I mean, overall, what a hard-fought, sorely won match, and it was just great.
Yeah, I thought overall, again, we talked about it earlier, but Jesse Minter had this defense ready to play at all different levels. We talked about the defensive line in Tierra Tart and Tuli and what they were able to contribute. We know we had talked about Derwin James. Dan, how about Troy Dye? Troy Dye showed up big time in a couple of key plays. Had a big hit. Didn't mind seeing that one at all.
Nope.
Didn't mind seeing that. Now, to Patrick Mahomes' credit, he ended up laying his own hit a couple series later, which
he is going to get himself in trouble with that.
I mean, hey, sometimes you
someone's
by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah.
Yes, but probably won't because we know what the officials do whenever someone generally farts in the direction of Patrick Mahomes. We know what usually happens. But Dan, I thought Dante Jackson had a very good game, especially in the first half. I thought he even almost came down for an interception. Yeah. I was like, run that back. Give me that one more time. And of course, the Chiefs kind of thought the exact same thing, and they quick snapped it so that it didn't matter. But outside of the 3 big plays that they gave up in the secondary, which those are going to be fixed, and some of those are just Mahomes doing the things that he does and extending the plays, and you can only cover certain receivers for so long.
The Kelsey one pissed me off.
Yes, yeah, because you should never, ever, ever lose sight of him. It's like that he is the best option, especially with 2 of his biggest wide receivers already being out for the game. you know that's the primary. And it's probably why Hollywood Brown ended up going over 100 yards in receiving for this game. But still, defensively, you did what you needed to do. Dan, I remember my score prediction. I thought it was going to be low scoring. I had, 20-17? Chargers?
27-24 Chiefs.
You keep Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at 21 points.
And 3 points in the first half until the 59-yarder with no time left.
And you end up hanging 27 on them. That's great considering, what Patrick Mahomes does to opposing defenses. That's a huge win.
Next voicemail.
What's up, fellas? Just got done finished watching this game. Man, I'm hyped up. This team, I was at that Texans playoff game last year as a Chargers fan. This team's just different. Quentin Johnston catching passes. I just feel like they're using him in a different way. Maybe not. Just Keenan Allen back, dotting him up. Herbert finally has the guys that can give him separation. All he needs to, you already know he can throw it in the bread basket. He just needs 0.5 millimeters of separation, and he'll give it to you. We finally have that. The defense was great. Honestly, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, the best.
I feel like that's kind of the tale, right? Like when you see some of the plays that dude's making, like that flip play that he did where he's literally horizontal, throws it backwards, sideways, like whatever the hell he was doing. Somehow it goes over the head of 3 Chargers players, ends up as the deep pass that he threw at the end of that. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to just, as frustrating as it is to have to do, you have to just tip your cap. That's why he is the way he is. That's why he has every single highlight on SportsCenter. But they still did it.
That's the point. You had Mahomes magic sprinkled out everywhere in this game from him. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter.
And that, I think, is what is the best thing to come out of this game. Was this wasn't an off game that the Chargers found a way to win an ugly, whatever, Chiefs were on. Yes, they didn't have Xavier Worthy, which was unfortunate for them. But Mahomes was carrying them. Their defense
didn't
was
matter
coming.
for the Chiefs.
Kelsey
it didn't matter for the Chiefs.
Bit. Yeah,
they were still in it till the end. Like, in my opinion, you could have given given Patrick Mahomes the Chiefs receiving core of last season, and he still would have been able to do something. That's just what he's capable of.
How many games did they win last year with that receiving core without Rashee Rice? Didn't they only lose 3?
You only lost 2 games. The game to Buffalo and the game that Patrick, well, technically, but the game to Buffalo and the game that Patrick didn't even play in because it was the regular season finale and you're not playing your starters because the game didn't matter.
You just beat that team. Next voicemail.
The best they could do. There's some broken plays, and like y'all said last week, I hope we don't get any easy plays. We did give them 2 easy plays in the second half. The Hollywood Brown and the Travis Kelce catch. But I don't know, man. Other than that D-line, Tier Tart came to play, man. Tier Tart, he really stepped up to fill in that void for Puna Ford, and I love it. These guys step up when the time is big in this Jim Harbaugh culture, and I love it. It's a huge difference from that playoff game last year. I remember getting ridiculed walking out of Energy Stadium, and I told every Texans fans there, we will be back, and we are back. Thank you, fellas. And just wanted to say one more thing. Thank you all for all your hard work through the season, through the off season. I love listening to y'all. Week in, week out, and bolt that baby. Peace.
Man, thank you.
I was 100% sure I was getting an FTR.
I thought that was coming, honestly, too, because we have the Raiders game on Monday Night Football. That's literally on the horizon. But no, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate that. Honestly, Dan and I just love doing this because it's just fun talking about football, but more importantly, talking to you guys in general. We just love talking football. It doesn't matter to who. We just have fun doing it. And that's what makes it fun is, doing it collectively and having these type of shows and this platform to do it in. So very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
So some final thoughts as I get to these last voicemails to you, Jake. One that we haven't really touched on much.
See if you go where I think you're going to go.
How many of these kinds of games did we see this Chargers team win historically? You go to last year, if you will. But generally speaking, like Chargers don't win this game.
No.
They just don't. I can think of a few off the top of my head, like the one in Pittsburgh, the one in Kansas City,
the one in Cincinnati last year.
Yep.
Like literally, you're on the edge of your seat because nobody can make a damn kick. And then again, Justin Herbert hits Ladd McConkey twice, sets up J.K. Dobbins for the ultimate run to seal that game. That was, I think, I don't know how long it had been. Again, those games that you mentioned, yes, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. But in general, nobody generally thinks of the Chargers turning into that team that can overcome and get out of their own way. Even with those games you referenced, it didn't like turn the tide, even though the next morning after the Cincinnati game, the whole idea from everybody that was talking about it was the Chargers didn't charge her.
I think a lot of people were saying that the Bengals bangled. Like it was like literally like both.
It was the opposite. Yes. Yeah. The last time that we've heard that term was the shellacking that the Raiders gave the Chargers in primetime on Thursday Night Football, just a few weeks before Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley were relieved of their duties. That was the last time that you really heard that. Why? Because Al Michaels talked about it and it was in prime time and everybody just really kind of hit that one home. But to see this happen against the AFC conference champions, 3-time Super Bowl winning team,
perennial,
has owned this AFC West for 9 straight years. The last time that the Chargers beat them was 4 years ago. Fuck yeah. Get that bad taste out of my mouth.
And I think that's where the storyline of this season is going to be, can this Chargers team have a winning record against playoff teams? If they can have a winning record against playoff teams, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with and will be in the playoffs.
Your divisional games in general are going to be an exact measurement of that. And the last 5 weeks of the season are going to be a measurement of that.
Again, you got the games against the Chiefs, which you just got one. Broncos twice, Chiefs twice, obviously. You got Commanders coming up. You've got the Vikings coming up. You've got the Steelers coming up. You've got the Eagles. You got the Cowboys. You got the Texans. There's a lot of big, hard, tough games. And you just won arguably the second toughest on your schedule.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't in SoFi.
You get through this next couple weeks. I'm not even gonna get there.
But I'll just say this: you come out of this division run, these first 3 games with a 2-1 record, you're feeling good. And with the very least, at least a 2-1 record, you're feeling good about what's taking place. You don't have to worry about the Chiefs now until December. Trust me when I say it's going to be a very, very different game, not necessarily in the score, but the Chiefs are probably going to have their full complement of weapons back, being Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy. You're still going to have, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting their rookies? Jalen Royals out there. So trust me, they're still going to be tough to contend with. And in Arrowhead, by God, I had them splitting them. I don't even have them winning that game. But trust me, it's going to be a very different team, but I still expect the Chargers to come ready to play.
The Chargers won that game. They won the game that you were dreading. They won the game that you were like, well, they got to win in spite of.
Yep.
Like, chalk it up as an L.
Yep.
They got to figure out a way. Like, they just won that game. And Justin Herbert kept Superman on the bench with his own cape. That was the best part, watching Patrick Mahomes just sit there. How many times have we seen Justin Herbert just have to stand there, hands on his shoulder pads, dreading what he's seeing?
Seen it happen plenty of times during the Chiefs. You've seen it happen in previous games. How many times has Patrick Mahomes gotten the opportunity to deliver that blow to opposing teams? See Josh Allen a couple years ago when you leave Patrick Mahomes 11 seconds on the damn clock. crazy. So it's good to be on the receiving end of something like that for a change. Justin Herbert, my God in heaven.
You're
now I got
fuck the Raiders. We're poking on two stat tonight. Ryan Clark can suck my dick. Nick Ray can get it too. Herbert has never had a signature win ever in his career. F that. The final on the drive, he did a Sam Paulo slide on Chiefs defenders. Well, guess what? Now defense can look like Swiss cheese out there. I also have a massive headache. This game stressed me the hell out. But anyway,
no shit, really?
1-0 in Sam Paulo. You know what that means? Super Bowl? Just, I don't know. Maybe? Anyway, we have the Raiders next week. Rocking the powder blue pants. Can't wait to see that against the black and silver. Either way, on to the next week. 1-0. That's it. Everything's great. I'm going to bed, baby. Bye.
Where did he say he was moving to?
What just happened?
Chargers winning does a lot to certain people where it's just, I can't comprehend everything. But he kind of sounded like Jim Harbaugh at the podium where he's like, it's like a rocket ship, man. That's what I got out of that. That was just
so good.
Genuine excitement for a Chargers win. Who cares if you fucking slur your words? By God, the excitement takes over, the adrenaline takes over, and that's what you get. There was a lot in that voicemail, by the way.
Yeah. FTR.
I won't say anything else other than if we're talking about FTR, obviously Raiders week is now coming up. Dan, that's going to be, when we get to the breakdown, that's going to be an interesting one to break down because, hey, credit to the Raiders for starting off their season with a win on the road. Geno Smith throwing for over 300 yards. Brock Bowers basically just picking up where he left off last year, going for over 100 yards. Aston Genty, which we just got the news a little bit earlier that Denzel Perryman has a high ankle sprain and he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I would much rather like to have Denzel Perryman in going against a run-heavy scheme by one Pete Carroll, but we're going to have a lot to break down on it. We're going to have a lot to break down on it, and as much as we get up for Raiders week, they get up for this week too, and they get to have their home opener, technically going for number 1 in the division.
They want them revenge too.
Which is wild to say after at week 2 of the season. But yes, the Chargers got a chance to sweep or the Chargers swept the Raiders last year. They definitely get to come to play. So it's going to be a very competitive game when we break everything down next week.
I'm going to try this voicemail one more time. If it doesn't work, we'll have to punt it.
Okay.
Man, we did it, man. Hey, man, it's Tony. We did it. Like, I from the get-go, I always said we were going to go 3-0. I said that from the get-go against our divisional rivals.
Pump that chest.
Hell yeah.
Pump that chest.
On that shit.
I said we were going to go 3-0. Hopefully we go 6-0. No, I'm not doubting anything anymore. Man, I'm glad Herbert had his game, man. I mean, I know he always does, but I mean, this was he deserved this one, man. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Keenan too, man. I was kind of scared for him because I didn't want anyone to call him washed, and people were calling him washed. They know who they are. I love them, man. I love both of these guys, man. I'm glad that Marshawn was out there too, help giving some advice to Marion. But man, I'm out here in Colorado right now. I'm from Colorado, so man, this is just insane. Like I said, we're still gonna go 3-0, and hopefully we continue that. But hey, man, I'm happy for the guys. I'm happy for everyone, especially for Herbert. Man, let's just bolt up, man. Thank you.
2 things, Dan. Number 1, what confidence juice are you drinking? Because I need to drink
6-0, 17-0.
I knew we were going to go 3-0. Well, very cavalierly, we'll probably go 6-0.
Hey, keep this on the docket, because
I don't give a damn. We're probably going to go 6-0. Hell, we might even go undefeated. Why not? Who knows? But whatever confidence you're drinking, I need that too, honestly, because credit to you, sir. Own it. You got 1 out of the 3 so far. I hope you're right. Secondly, we really have not talked about Amari and Hampton at all, Dan. And I know that it's kind of like a mixed bag as far as his debut. Obviously, the caller was just pointing out, the unfortunate play that he ended up running out of bounds, which caused the Chiefs to have enough time to go down and kick a field goal right before halftime. But in general, Dan, I actually really liked what I saw from Omarion Hampton. He had a couple of very strong runs that were very similar to what he had in the preseason in terms of just carrying bodies and not going down, and that's what he's about. But Dan, more importantly, go back and watch him when he's not getting the ball. Because there was a couple plays in there where he laid some wood in pass protection. Yep. He was very, very good, I thought. Now, obviously, you're expecting a little bit better. But again, this is a Chiefs defense that is normally very good at defending the run and making opposing offenses one-dimensional. So it does not bother me one bit about the opening performance of Omarion Hampton.
liked what I saw.
I did too. So
there were there's a couple flashes in there where you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, he was 1 foot away from breaking
loose. One. Mm-hmm.
And like, that's going to happen. You're going to see that happen. And you see that head of steam, man. Like that 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1.
He just gets so much power when he's running through that line, which is why he's not the guy that you're going to take down with one tackler. He's going to make others work to get him down. So I really liked what I saw from Omarion Hampton.
Last voicemail, Jake.
Hey, Jake and Dan. It's me, the Faceless Fan, back again. It's halftime right now. The game's not over.
Oh, shit. But, okay, here we go.
Okay, so what is he going to say?
Halftime. Oh, you're asking me? Okay, I thought that was a dramatic pause. He's probably going to say something of the ilk of like, it's like, well, that's probably going to be the play that's going to make a difference in this game. Same old Chargers making mistakes to give the Chiefs opportunities. Let's see if I'm right.
I just got to say really quick that I don't know if Jim Harbaugh was sorry for cussing. I don't know if he was just twiddling with his thumbs. I don't know how the hell we just got a delay of game. And then Greg Roman calls an outside run for Omarion Hampton. I love Omarion Hampton. I'm not placing the blame on him. That's not his fault at all. You call an outside
I'm calling both.
Run? That's absolutely...
I love it. The first negative Chargers voicemail we got. First of all, thank you for letting some steam out and calling during halftime of this game. But it's going exactly the way that I thought it was.
Insane. You're an idiot. Stop eating donuts, Greg Roman. Sorry. Nothing wrong with that at all. I love donuts too.
Donuts are great.
Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman throwing away the last fucking 50 seconds of that game because they're morons is inexcusable.
Okay, some of this is true, but some of this is hilarious. It's so much better when we can laugh about it later.
I'd say my prediction was pretty good.
Those guys are fucking veterans. Head coaches and OCs. There's no excuse. So if anyone on Twitter decides to fucking shit on Omarion Hampton, they're idiots. That's not his fault. It's Jim Harbaugh's fault, first off, and then Greg Roman's fault.
Which Jim Harbaugh said as much.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh took it himself as the reason why it happened. They should have coached him up more. Yes, if it was an inside run play, probably wasn't going to happen. So Greg Roman's at fault too.
Second off. And of course...
there's more.
We just hit second off. Okay, got it.
Of course they fucking make the field goal. Duh! So... I mean, thankfully we get the ball back. We'll see what happens, but...
Oh, boy. Imagine if you called him after that series.
Jesus Christ, it's already started, guys. It's already fucking started. The narratives are already starting. So let's hope we win this game. And, this is just a classic Chargers fan being super passionate and way too emotional about the Chargers and being filled with his past traumas. So, full top, that's it.
Look, Jake, I think we need to somehow Quentin Tarantino this and put that back at the front. Not today.
Not today. No, because you know what? I like it because it's maybe
that's what we're used to living. That's what we're used to.
I get it. Look, right here, man. I mean, I've always said I said it for the longest time during the Staley Telesco era, is just like, look, until things change, what evidence do you have that things are going to get better? And I get it just from that standpoint, but my God, coaching just fucking matters. And in football, every team, some more than most, unfortunately, end up just having the better luck of the draw, or are able, more importantly, to overcome mistakes. That's where coaching comes into play.
Yep.
The Chargers thankfully have that. And to make that whole conversation even worse, imagine, Dan, how he was feeling after the Chargers' first drive.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if he called in after that.
To compound it, everything. Because I get it. Honestly, I was thinking the exact same thing in the back of my mind. I'm like,
absolutely.
Those are the type of plays
I got the Chiefs made. The text message receipts from you.
Oh, yes. I said that that's the type of plays that's probably going to end up making a difference in the game, because especially for the Chiefs, that's what always ends up happening. There's always a way that they find certain abilities to make teams make mistakes and make them beat themselves. And the Chargers and Justin Herbert more specifically said, not today. Not today.
So the last thought that I have on this, which this is a fantastic episode. This is all that I would hope for and more. And I don't remember the last time I laughed this hard after a victory. This was great. So thank you.
And I do apologize if I have dropped a number of F-bombs throughout this show. And I know that some callers have been hesitant to do so. So I apologize if you hear me being the one that's dropping it. But look, again, we're all in our collective elements, and excitement and emotions are high. And why not? Why not?
The thing is, as I close this out, talk about hopium, optimism, tether it to reality, all that kind of stuff. This was the type of game that was not won before. And so when everyone says, I'm going to go with what my eyes tell me, your eyes just showed you a Chargers win over the Chiefs, tackling adversity. Like that is now behind us. That is now a fact to be brought into these next segments as we go forward. So it definitely shifts the narrative a bit, and we'll see if this Chargers team can continue down this path. We'll get to the Raiders pregame as we get through kind of previewing the game, but that's a monumental, massive win. Players, coaches, franchise. That was big. That was
huge.
Big. Jake, anything else before we wrap this thing up? This was so much fun.
Interesting stat, Dan. The last time that there was, I can't remember if it was the Chiefs specifically or that you had a representative of the AFC West that starts off the league where all three other teams in the AFC West, I think it was the Chiefs. It's the first time for the Chiefs since 2002 where every team in the AFC West has won their first week of the season and they have lost. First team dating all the way back to 2022, or 2002, excuse me. That's wild. That is a wild stat. And you just slayed the giant of the NFL and beat the team that you have not been able to beat for 4 years. And you do it in dramatic fashion like that.
Yep. Go off, King.
There was no turnovers in this game, Dan. Remember that. There was no turnovers in this game.
Nope. Feels good. Damn, it feels good. Chargers win 27-21, 1-0, coming back from Brazil. Next up, Las Vegas Raiders. Jake, you and I will talk about it.
Dan, let's do a live show for that. Let's try to do a live show for that because I know everybody's going to be jacked to 11 for Raiders week, obviously. Let's try our best to do a live show for that one. Would love to get the opinions of everyone out there leading up to Raiders week. Monday Night Football is going to be huge. Battle for first place in the AFC West in only week 2. Let's go.
323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. If you want to be a part of the show, please give us your thoughts, your feelings, your reactions. We'll be more than happy to play them for you and all of Chargers fans to listen to. For Jake, appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. You can find him at Jake T. Hefner. You can find myself at Dan W. Sports. If you haven't done so already, hit the like and subscribe. Helps out a ton. Tell a friend. Pat him on the back. Say bolt up. And this is FTR week, folks. FTR. Jake will talk about it later. But until then, this was amazing. We appreciate all of you, and we'll talk to you next time on Chargers Unleashed.